What is up, Internet? I'm here with an unboxing for the Hyperkin Duke controller for the Xbox One and Windows 10 computer. So this is a special controller made specifically for the Xbox One and Windows, and this is inspired by the original Duke controller. This was made by Hyperkin and also pretty difficult to get. So far it's only been available online only, either through Microsoft or from GameStop. So make sure to get one as soon as you can before, who knows, if they sell out. So as you can see, we have Duke right on the box, the Hyperkin logo, the name of the controller. It's for Xbox. It tells us here that it's compatible with 3.5mm headphone jack, and also some screenshots of the Xbox boot up screen, since this is a OLED screen from what I've heard. Let's see, here's the top. Has a little hanger. Here's the bottom with the FCC stuff. Here's the side, shows the controller from side profile, other side profile, and here's the back. And it just continues again, just shows off the back of the controller too, along with the placement of all the buttons. Classic design feature featuring the original Xbox animation startup screen played right inside the Xbox button design. Inside the Xbox button design, oh, that's foreign, excuse me. Vibration feedback for realistic experiences, and 9-foot detachable USB cable. Keep in mind, this is a wired controller. It is not wireless. Just keep that in mind, because this is a $70 controller. Okay, so to open it up, you just have two pieces of tape here. And afterwards, just slides right out. That's done. Here we have the controller, but first, some paperwork. Can we get a zoom in on this? A very special thank you to, and these are the people that were part of the development of the controller, including Seamus Blackley, who is kind of the creator or father of the Xbox brand. Oh wow, even the devs behind Jet Set Radio Future, Halo, Xbox Community. So pretty interesting people that helped in development of this. So really cool. And then here's a little manual or quick start guide. It's really just plug in and play. It's just a controller. And now we have the controller. And yeah, this feels very similar to a Duke controller. It feels much lighter, for sure. It feels like so much of the original weight has been taken out. It feels kind of like a DualShock 3 when it didn't have rumble. That's how light it feels, which is pretty surprising because the original Duke was also heavy. Buttons feel good for a third-party controller. Keep in mind, this is not by Microsoft. This is made by Hyperkin, a third-party company. And also, in addition, there is new buttons on the top, which are the left and right bumpers. Because before the Xbox had the shoulder buttons, they had the black and white buttons. So you can use either one to your preference. Just know that there's much more travel, so you'd probably have to play like this with your middle finger for the triggers. D-pad feels somewhat floaty. Analogs do feel pretty good, and face buttons pretty clicky. And instead of saying start and back, it's just the same symbols that are on the Xbox One controller. Here we have the headphone jack, which is cool. The USB port. And on the bottom we have the Hyperkin and Duke. And I think these are also the same screw placements, just like in the original. We'll have a comparison afterwards. And then also take off this sticker. We have the guide button, or the Xbox button, and there's also a screen, which we will show you in a moment. And the triggers feel very, very light. I know that the spring on the original Duke is much heavier. There's much more of a pull, whereas these, they feel very, very easy to pull. So that's interesting. And the quality of the plastic, it feels similar, but there's a type of smooth matte feel to it compared to the kind of textured matte feel on the original. But besides that, it feels very, very similar to the original, which is cool. And also, there is no slots here, because this is for Xbox One, not for original. And then also in the package, we have the USB cable. I'm not opening this up. You know what a USB cable is. Alright, so let's take a look at that boot screen. That is really cool. So here we have the animation, and it works every time you click the guide button. Yep, it constantly reboots. So that's really cool. There is no audio, but if you play the original Xbox, you can already hear it in your head like I am, so that doesn't matter. The Xbox is on, so it's pretty cool using the black and white buttons again. It's very, very cool. Let's take a look at that animation again. That is really cool. Alright, so for the sake of authenticity, I have Star Wars Battlefront Classic running on Xbox One. And here we have the Duke controller. So as you can see, controls, and every time you press the guide button, it just reboots the animation. But yeah, really cool. This is great for original Xbox games that are backwards compatible, and if you're authentic like me, playing Master Chief Collection, Halo Combat Evolved, or Halo 2 with the Duke controller is going to be great. Okay, so here we have a comparison of the Hyperkin Duke controller to the Microsoft Duke controller, the official controller for the Xbox from 2001. So this noticeably feels much lighter than this, and the matte feel, I think even hopefully the camera picks it up, but this has much more of a textured feel to it, whereas this is a smooth matte feel, which isn't a problem. They also copied the likeness of the analogs. You know, they're not the same exact ones like on the Xbox One. They're both the same analog sticks. What I do like about the Hyperkin controller is that the buttons are clicky. They're clicky buttons, whereas on the original, the buttons were mushy. And the problem with that is that sometimes you couldn't tell if you pressed the button or not. So, you know, this is a win for the Hyperkin controller. And as you can see, no headphone jack. And on the top, we have the slots for the memory cards, for the headset. So it's really cool. And of course, no shoulder buttons, because that predates it. This has shoulder buttons, and pretty cool addition. And if you take a look at the back, they have practically the same placement of the screws, which is a nice detail. It's just on the Hyperkin, this is a little bit higher. That's probably because the headphone jack is in the way. And also it has two stickers here. In fact, they're almost complete mirror of each other, of even like the shape of the sticker. It's just rather than the groove being down here, it's just up here. This has Hyperkin. This is just the barcode. This is of course wired. This is also wired, but the cable is detachable. And like I said earlier, the triggers had a much stronger spring to it, so you had to pull harder. Whereas this one, they feel very, very light, very easy to pull. And of course, this is just a still image in a clear plastic, whereas this is an actual LCD screen, and it clicks, and it has an animation. This doesn't. So, and also just back and start, excuse me. And this has the the two symbols for the Xbox One. And over here we have the Microsoft logo right on the bottom. And also, yeah, like something about the D-pad's also very different. So on the Hyperkin, it's much more clicky, whereas this one has a combination of both clickiness and mushiness. It's very hard to explain. It's something you'd have to feel for yourself to understand. Analogs, they feel very similar. I mean, ultimately, just gotta try this out in gameplay and see if it holds up. But besides that, it's a very, very good replica. I think even the form factor and the size, it's near identical, if not it is. It's just the slight changes, like the addition of shoulder buttons. But that's about it, and it's really cool. If you're an Xbox enthusiast, this is a big recommendation. $70 for a wired controller, though, is debatable. If you don't have that type of money, you may have to do a lot of thinking. But, I mean, that extra money is kind of going to that screen, which is cool, and it's also compatible on PC. So if you play Halo 5 Forge or even El Dorito on PC, it's pretty fun to use a Duke controller. But besides that, that is it for the Hyperkin Duke controller for the Xbox One and Windows 10 PC. Thank you all for watching, and have a good one.